Hello students, welcome to Power Tutorials. So today we are going to start math sample paper solution of chapter 2 and 3. Okay, that is polynomials and pair of linear equations in two variables. In previous video I made a recording session that is of chapter 1, that is real numbers. So this is continuation to that videos. So let me just cross check whether everything is fine with respect to audio and video. Okay, I could say audio is fine. So let's start with our video. So I'll just give a small recap of what we done in previous video. So this is the starting chapter 1, that is real numbers. So I have started with there are questions like first MCQ is real numbers and we have solved it, and then we have solved the 10th one where sum of two numbers and HCF and LCF type of question. I have explained how to solve it using prime factorization method. And then we have 3 marks question that is in workshop. So this also related to HCF kind of question, and we have solved using prime factorization method. So that was related to chapter 1. So which are questions present in sample question paper. So this is already present in main NCERT standard website. If you want, you can also go through it. So let's start with the second. We'll see what are questions of second chapter and we'll solve one by one. So from second chapter I can see we have two questions, 12th one and 20th question. So I'll just paste the 12th question first. The second chapter, okay, while discussing question I'll explain the concept behind it as well. Okay, let's start with this. So I got the first question which is of 12th one. I'm sorry. So 12th question is related to quadratic polynomial. Just a minute, I'm not able to paste it. Let me go through it once again. Okay, something is wrong. Please excuse me just for 1 minute. Okay, now it is set. So let's solve the first 12th question. So the 12th question, if you're able to see, the question is if zeros of a quadratic polynomial are equal, then they are asking the options. Okay, so what is zeros of a polynomial? So for zeros of polynomial I will explain the question concept first. So for this we have to remember, so for zeros of quadratic, so why it is quadratic? Quadratic in sense the highest power of x should be 2. So here if you notice highest power is 2, hence it is a quadratic. If the same type of expression, if we have the highest power as 3, then we call it as cubic. And if the highest power is only 1, that is x power 1, then we call it as linear. Okay, and if it is no x is present or x power 0, then I call that value as constant. Okay, if we are having 2 as the highest power, and as I told you in this question, it is quadratic. So this we have to remember. Based upon the power, we have to define which type of polynomial it is. It is 2, quadratic 3, then it is cubic 1, then it is linear, and 0, that is no x is present, then it is a constant x polynomial. Okay, so for this quadratic polynomial, for zeros you have to remember the concept which is b square minus 4ac. Okay, we also call it as delta. So for this, what is the conditions? We have 3 conditions. If b square minus 4ac is less than 0, then we have no real roots or no real zeros, both are same. If b square minus 4ac equal to 0, then equal zeros if b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, then we have two distinct zeros. Two distinct in sense two unequal. So I'm repeating the concept again. For quadratic polynomial, for zeros type of question, you have to remember condition b square minus 4ac, which you call it as delta. So if delta is less than 0, no real zeros. Delta equal to 0, equal zeros. If delta greater than or greater than 0, then it is two distinct or unequal zeros. Okay, what is the question they're asking? If zeros of polynomial are equal. Equal in sense the second condition, which is b square minus 4ac equal to 0. So if b square minus 4ac is equal to 0, then in sense b square should be equal to 4ac. So what is the condition? A, B, C are mentioned. So B and C must have opposite signs. B and C must have opposite signs. There is no guarantee. C and B must have same signs. Here also no guarantee. A and C must have opposite signs. If both are opposite, then the product will be negative. B square cannot be negative. So this is also wrong. So only option is D, where A and C must have same signs. So if A is negative, C is negative, then product will be positive. A is positive, C is positive, product will be positive, because B square is always greater than 0. If b square is always greater than or equal to 0, then a and c should have same sign, like it can be minus into minus or plus into plus. So both will become positive. Okay, hope you understood the question. The second one is 28. So let me take a screenshot of that question. th question is a 3 marks question. So here we have one question which is related to quadratic polynomial, again zeros only. So most of the questions from the second chapter will be related to quadratic, and it will be mostly of zeros. Okay, let me take the screenshot once again. Question 28th question. So in this question they are asking to find the zeros of a quadratic polynomial and also to verify the relationship between the zeros and the coefficients of the polynomial. Okay, so let's solve this. So to find zeros of the polynomial, you have to use factorization method. Only that we can solve it, but you can also use quadratic formula that I will explain in this 4th chapter while we're discussing. Okay, so for this chapter I think only the factorization will be enough. So let's write the equation once again. 2x square minus 1 plus 2 root 2 into x plus root 2. For this quadratic polynomial we need to find the zeros. So zeros are nothing but by substituting which values, this whole equation will become 0. Okay, so for the easy trick, let's open it. So it will be 1 into x is x, 2 root 2 into x is 2 root 2x plus root 2. If I take x as common, 2x minus 1, I will tell the trick to solve factorization method. So just write this whole part again here. Then see which I have to be in this point. So it is minus 2 root 2x. It is 2x is also, so the remaining is root 2. Okay, this is a trick to write it. Okay, whenever you're doing factorization method, not only for this, but even for the 4th chapter, whichever is there at this point, just write that point first again, then see whichever is common. That will be easy to solve. So for this I got x minus root 2 into 2x minus 1. So this should be 0. So here I got the values x as root 2, and here 2x minus 1 is equal to 0, or x is equal to 1 by 2. So the zeros of this polynomial are root 2 comma 1 by 2. So they are not only asking zeros, they are also asking to get the check the relationship between the zeros and the coefficients. So till here if you write, you will get 1 mark, and this you will get 1 mark, and the next, the verification of coefficients, you will get half mark for both the conditions, because two things we have to check. First is sum of zeros should be equal to minus b by a. So sum of zeros, what we have, root 2 and 1 by 2. Root 2 plus 1 by 2. If I take it LCM, I will get 2 root 2 plus 1 by 2, or okay, just keep it as it is. So what is minus b by a? B, you can see it, 1 plus 2 root 2 by 2, minus of 1 plus 2 root 2 by 2, and here if you notice we have b as negative. Okay, hence this becomes minus of minus, which will be again the same value. So this you will get half mark. And the next one, product of zeros. So product of zeros of the quadratic polynomial formula is c by a. So we need to just verify whether both will be same. Product of zeros is c by a. C by a is, c is nothing but the constant. So in this equation the constant is root 2 and a value is 2. So we should get root 2 by 2, which is 1 by root 2. I should get 1 by root 2. Let's see whether you're getting 1 by 2. So root 2 into the second zero is 1 by 2. Root 2 by 1 by 2 is nothing but 1 by 2. Hence it is also satisfied. So this if you prove, you will get half mark. So half and other are 1 and 1 mark. So total 3 plus 1, 4 marks you are getting from this second chapter. Okay, so from second chapter the main concepts is nothing but to find whether the equation is quadratic, cubic or linear, we need to identify, and then the other type of question, just a minute, let's see if any other, okay, that's it. Okay, let's move to the other question. So base comes 4, as I told you, if it is less than 0 then no real roots, equal to 0 equal roots, and greater than 0 two distinct, that is two different roots. Okay, so in this way the second chapter questions are done. So let's move to the third chapter, which is pair of linear equations in two variables. Okay, so chapter 3 concepts we'll discuss. Chapter 3 concepts are, what is the chapter name? Pair of linear equations in two variables. So if you understand the chapter name itself, then you will easily identify whether which type of question is belonging to this chapter or not. So what is a pair? Pair means nothing but two, combination of two, any two, like pair of bananas, pair of apples, pair of chocolates, whatever. If I say pair, then the answer is two. Pair of linear equations. So linear, I told you, if the x power, the highest power is only 1, then we call those equations as linear, which we already discussed here. I told you here x power 1 are nothing but linear equations. So what is other point? In two variables. So here we need to say that we had two variables like x and y, or a and b, or p and q. So only two variables are present and both two should be linear equations, and if you have a pair of them, then this such type of questions belongs to second chapter. Sorry, third chapter, which is pair of linear equations of two variables. Okay, so from this chapter, in the sample question paper, I found only one question, which is of 31st question. Let me keep it here. So 31st question is of 3 marks, and we have optional part as well, like A and B part. So in CBSE main paper, you will definitely find this type of questions, which are A and B. So we should either solve, we should only solve only one. And if you have time, if you want to solve, you can solve it. But as per the pattern, whichever you solve first, that will be considered as for marking. Okay. So if you want to solve both, you can solve it. But whichever you feel much confident, solve that question as first. Okay. We'll solve both the questions. That is A and B part now. Okay, hope you're able to see the question properly. So 31, A part, the monthly income of Aryan and Babban are in the ratio 3:4 and their monthly expenditures are in the ratio 5:7. If each saves 15,000 per month, find their monthly incomes. Okay, so before that, to solve this question, let's just understand income, savings and expenditure. So these are English terms, but it's a general which everyone should know, not only for maths, for any subject. Okay. So income is nothing but salary. How much salary we are getting? For suppose the income is 50,000. Okay, and expenditure are nothing but expenses like rent, petrol, or any utensils or grocery. All the such things which are happening in month belongs to expenditure. So which is, suppose the expenses per month, if I say is 30,000, then whichever is subtracted from this income is nothing but savings. So for this example, I can say the savings is 20,000. So hope you understood what is income. Income is nothing but salary. Expenditure is nothing but the expenses which is happening for that particular month or year, and savings is nothing but whichever is remaining after subtracting expenditure from income. Okay, now let's go to the question. So what is question? What we have? We are saying that monthly income of Aryan and Baban. So you have two persons which are Aryan and Baban, and their incomes are in ratio 3:4. So I will assume incomes of Aryan and Baban as X and Y. What is the ratio they provided? X by Y is 3/4. Let's see the other condition. Each saves, okay, in their monthly expenditures are in ratio 5:7. Okay, each saves 15,000 per month. So savings they have provided how much? Both persons are having a savings of 15,000, and their expenditures are in ratio 5:7. So what I have told you in this equation, I can say income is equal to expenditures plus savings. So what is expenditures now? Income minus saving is nothing but expenditures. Okay, incomes are now which is X and Y. Savings are now which is 15,000. So the second equation I can say X minus 15,000 by Y minus 15,000 is nothing but the ratio 5:7. Okay, if I cross multiply, I will get 7x minus 15 sevens are 105 000 is equal to 5y minus 15 5s is 75 000. So if I write everything to the left one side, I will get 7x minus 5y, and if I move 105 000 to the right side, I will get 105 000 minus 75 000, which is nothing but 30,000. So this is equation 2, and the first equation, if I just cross multiply here, I will get 4x is equal to 3y, or if I move 3y to the left side, I can say 4x minus 3y is equal to 0. This is equation 1. So now if you notice, both the equations are having the highest power as 1, so it is linear equation. And how many variables? X and Y. Here also X and Y, so it is 2 variables. So linear equations with 2 variables and a pair of linear equations. So this type of questions I told you how it belongs. It belongs to the third chapter, which is pair of linear equations in 2 variables. So to solve pair of linear equations 2 variables, we have total 3 methods. 2 are algebraic and 1 is graphical. So for algebraic method, we have elimination and substitution. Elimination and substitution. So if they haven't mentioned in the question whichever we want, so based upon the numbers you can choose, and as per my suggestion, if they haven't mentioned which method, you have to choose. Like in this question they haven't mentioned, so we should go for elimination. But if they clearly mention you have to solve using substitution, then you have to solve using substitution. Okay, and the second method I told you, which is graphical method. Okay, so in this question I'm not going to explain about substitution method. I'm going to use only elimination, and let's solve this. But if you want substitution, you can also refer to the video which I will paste in the description about this chapter questions. So if you want, you can check those and for any guidance. Okay, let's solve this question using elimination method. So we have two equations: 4x minus 3y is equal to 0 and 7x minus 5y is equal to 0. So for convenience, what I will do is I will multiply the first equation with 5 and second equation with 3. Okay, so 3x minus 4y is equal to 0. Sorry, 4x minus 3y is 0. So make sure doing this proper, because the small mistake can go entire question wrong. Okay, 4x minus 3y is 0. 7x minus 5y is 30,000. Okay, so this if I multiply into 5, and this I want to multiply into 3. Why? Because 3 into 5 is 15 and 5 into 3 is also 15. Okay, so now this equation becomes 20x minus 15y is equal to 0, and 7 3 is 21x minus 15y becomes 3 3 is 9 and 5 zeros. 4 zeros, sorry, it is 30,000. Okay, now let's subtract 1 minus 2. So while doing subtraction, just change the signs, whichever is there, just multiply minus into it. So this becomes minus x, these two will get cancelled out, is equal to minus 90,000. So x value income is 90,000. What about y value? So I can use any of the, I will use first one. If I substitute 4 into 90 is 36,000, 3,60,000. Is equal to 3y. So the y value I can say, which is nothing but 1,20,000. Okay, because 36 by 3 is 12. So I got both the incomes. What are the names? Aryan and Babban. Aryan income is equal to 90,000 and Babban income is 1,20,000. Okay, so in this way we can solve elimination method. Same question if you want to do using substitution method, what you have to do is simply use this equation and get x value as 3y by 4 and substitute this value in the second equation and solve it. So always substitution method is a bit lengthy when compared to elimination. So in this question, in any question, if they haven't mentioned to use substitution or any method, directly go for elimination method. Okay, let's solve second one. So this question you have to solve it using graphically. So as I can't use graphical graph sheet here, but most of the part I will try to explain using a freehand. Okay, so what are the equations? 2x plus y is equal to 6. 2x plus y is equal to 6. And what is the second equation? 2x minus y minus 2 is equal to 0. 2x minus y minus 2 is equal to 0. And what they are asking? Find the area of triangle so that formed with two lines and x-axis. Okay, so first we need to draw the graph. So suppose we have two lines something like this, then they're asking this area, okay, between two lines and the x-axis. So okay. So for this, the second equation, let's write it to the other side. So first equation is 2x plus y is equal to 6. The second equation is 2x minus y is equal to 2. Okay, so for the graph sheet question, what you have to do is keep a box like this and get 2 points first. So which is x and y, x and y. Keep x as 0, get y value. If I keep x as 0 here, so becomes y is equal to 6. Same way keep y as 0, then 2x is equal to 6, x value is 3. So I got 2 points, x comma y. So 0 comma 6 and 3 comma 0. Same way for second equation, keep x as 0, then becomes 2 into 0 minus y is equal to 2. So simply y is equal to minus 2. Same way if I keep y as 0, I will get 2x is equal to 2, then x value is nothing but 1. So I got for second equation, I got 2 points which are 0 comma minus 2 and 1 comma 0. Okay, so we have to just mark these points in the graph sheet, draw it, you'll get the area. So as a freehand I'm just drawing. So this is the last question for this video, so just make sure you're checking it properly. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 minus 1 minus 2 minus 3 minus 4. So graph sheet, make sure whichever is the darker length, you can mark it as 1 unit 1 centimeter. Okay, let's mark for first one, 0 comma 6 and 3 comma 0. X is 0, y is 6. 1 2 3 4. Okay, need to draw 2 more, 5 and 6. Okay, this is the first point, x is 0, y is 6. Second point, x is 1, x is 3, y is 0. X is 3, y is 0. So somewhere here. Okay, so I use the scale and pencil and draw first line. It will be somewhat like this. Okay, second, x0, y minus 2. x0, y minus 2 here. And x1, y as 0. x1, y as 0. Okay, so I got these two lines are connecting somewhere here. Okay, so this is 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Same way, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, and here it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the bottom minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. Okay, if you do properly, you will get the point of intersection as exactly 2 comma 2. Okay, so the x and y values are nothing but 2 comma 2. You can write at bottom, solution is x comma y is equal to 2 comma 2. What they are asking is not asking only the point, they are also asking the area. So if you notice, this is nothing but a triangle which is having height as 2 and base as also 2, because 1 2 3 the distance is 2. So what is area of triangle? Half into base into height. So half into base is 2, height is also 2, 2 gets cancelled. The answer is 2 units. And area is always square unit. So it is 2 square units. Okay, so this will carry 1 mark, this will carry 1 mark, and the points which you got, these points will carry 1 mark. Okay, so in this way, all the questions of sample paper belonging to chapter 2 and chapter 3 are done. So if you have any doubts with respect to these two chapters, not only the discussed questions, if you have any other questions also, you can also paste directly in my community, because I have provided the rights directly so that any person or any student can write their doubts in my community section. I will check that community section, and if not only me, any other subscribers can also seek it and they can also respond to you. This is a new feature in YouTube. Hope you can like it. Okay, so thanks for watching, and in the next video we'll cover chapter 4 and 5 questions. So mostly by tomorrow or day after tomorrow I will plan live or recording video. Thank you.